Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So it's been a very chaotic week in the VTubing scene, especially among some of the popular indie VTubers. And trust me, it pains me to make this video, where we're going to largely focus on Fallen Shadow, aka Shondo, because recently she has made some really out-of-pocket statements where she has accused people with differing opinions of being groomers, and then she made a complete non-apology about the situation, and then she doubled and tripled and quadrupled down on this whole thing, leaving many, including a lot of her fans, very upset. So I know this might be a hard video for some people because you guys might be fans of hers, but I respect her too much. I enjoy her content. I respect her too much to coddle her and act like she's immune to criticism, because that is not the case. Now, for context behind all of this, it begins with a tweets made by Bao the Whale. Now, she made this response that many think is talking about situations like the one involving the Mizkif allegations or other stuff as well, where she basically says that if a large male content creator approaches you and love bombs you as a small female content creator, run. Okay? Now, some people thought she was generalizing all men. I don't think in this post that's what she's doing, but my correction is that, well, large male content creators can do this to small female content creators, and large female content creators can do this to small male content creators, and even further, large female content creators can do this to other female content creators. Now, like I said, a lot of people looked at this and said, oh, Bao's saying all men are bad. And I think, again, based on this context, maybe a bit of a reach, but her response in the coming days and when she was facing criticism for this post is making people scratch their heads. In fact, she was caught liking this tweet where it says, men that are crying about this, referring to her tweet, are the same men that cry about us saying we choose the bear. Now, if you're not terminally online, maybe you don't understand that reference, but for the last year, there have been sentient human beings who have said that if I was lost in the woods, I'd rather be there with a bear as opposed to a human male. I'm sorry for whatever happened to someone who actually picks the bear, but get help, because that's insane. That's crazy. On top of that, Bao left this message on Discord blaming Cinder's fans and grifters for the backlash she is currently facing. And then on top of that, she went live on stream where she was basically saying, if you're upset about her comments, you have a receding hairline. And somehow she knows the name of a product that's supposed to reduce a receding hairline for men. How she has this on deck right here, I don't know. But if that actually worked, the people who made that would be billionaires because, you know. But anyways, that's the context. And then you had this individual who criticized some of her recent activity. Right? Now, I don't even necessarily agree with everything this guy's saying, but he simply disagreed with Bao. Now, this is where we get into the response from Shondo, where she sees this person criticizing Bao, and she says this: groomer outed alerts. Now, I say this because Shondo is someone that I've defended. Many people have defended because there are viral tweets with 100,000 or even 200,000 likes calling her a Nazi, a pedophile, a pedo enabler because of her streaming content, her lolly VTuber model, and her voice, which is high-pitched. And people like myself have rightfully defended her from those baseless allegations. And she doesn't need people like me defending her, but that's what I felt compelled to do on multiple occasions. So to see her calling someone a groomer for a differing opinion is gross. It's ridiculous. And anyone trying to excuse this as a joke, if anyone else, let's say another VTuber, called Shondo a groomer for a differing opinion, you be ripping out their throats. But when she does it, it's a joke or something that, people shouldn't take too seriously. Well, you know what? I'm not going to coddle her. She's a grown adult. She understands the gravity of saying stuff like this. And here's the thing. Spoiler alert. She's going to, quote unquote, apologize for this. But this reply is still up. Do you see this? It's been 3 days, by the way. 1.1 million views on this reply, calling a random innocent guy a groomer. Now, even if 1% of the people who saw this believed the veracity of what she's trying to claim, that would be over 1,000 people who now think this innocent dude is a groomer over a differing opinion. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then we get to her apology, right? A lot of people are really mad at her, including a lot of her fans. And she said this big wall of text. Let me read it. I recently said something pretty mean on impulse that's being pretty roughly misinterpreted. It's being misinterpreted. This is the context. It's 3 words. She called someone a groomer for having a differing opinion. It's British humor to throw words around. I know that one of the biggest audiences outside the US is the UK, for me. British lads and ladettes out there. Is calling someone a groomer like British humor? Am I missing something? I don't know. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But let's continue. And I personally have seen so much hate on the internet now, especially directed towards myself, that I've become completely and utterly numb to it. I've been hit with the same ridiculous, baseless allegations that she faces. And you know what? It has the opposite effects. I understand the gravity of words that she used. And I would never use it without any sort of proof or backing whatsoever. I don't buy that. I don't buy the utterly numb. It's not a good excuse. But she continues on saying, it seems I might have forgotten many people haven't really reached that point yet. Okay. I'm always trying to be a better, stronger, and kinder person, and it was wrong to thoughtlessly say something cruel. Keep that in mind as we continue. That said, if there are robberies in your area, it's not a bad idea to lock your door. If someone starts yelling about how you're oppressing them by telling people to do that, they might have a reason to feel so personally slighted. Are we talking about the same thing? Just like randomly calling people groomers for having a differing opinion on something? Okay. I think as men and women in the modern era, there is an incredible amount of strain between us. And I have always been an advocate for breaking that wall down by calling people groomers. The strife and conflict is pointless and does nothing but perpetuate this stupid cycle of hate. Shondophrenics know I am literally the opposite of a misandrist, and I don't take kindly at all to my thoughts being interpreted that way. TLDR, sorry for drama whoring. I stream a lot, very tired. Said the quiet part out loud. Very interesting apology, where it's captioned by saying the quiet part out loud. So you do believe what you're saying. Again, am I missing something, guys? This is ridiculous. I can't tell you to be nice and also be mean myself. I think when you're doing an apology for calling someone falsely a groomer, you should maybe use proper spelling. That's just me. I know I'm overly critical, but here's a good breakdown. someone made this response, breaking down everything going on with this post, and yeah, it's a lot of deflection, becoming the victim in a situation where you're being criticized for calling someone a groomer. It's kind of ridiculous. And then looking at her replies, someone said, "No, you're right. Don't apologize to these parasites. They'll only demand more." And she says, "I am apologizing for saying the quiet part out loud." So she, I guess, triples down on this point where she's saying, "I'm just saying the quiet part out loud," calling someone a groomer for having a different opinion. Interesting. Here's more. She's like, I don't care about being dogpiled. And you have this response saying, "I don't think I'll ever understand showing kindness to people that wouldn't ever consider to offer you the same." And she says, "Being kind to the people who do not deserve it is the strongest and most badass thing you can do, actually. And it usually frustrates them and makes them rethink their behavior a lot more effectively than being cruel would." What are we talking about here? She's showing kindness to, I guess, someone who doesn't deserve it and calls them a groomer? Did I hit my head or something, guys? This seems so ridiculous. But let's continue on. She says further, "So much goes on in VTubing that doesn't go public. So many situations happen that don't get Google Docied, because if every situation of abuse or manipulation or cruelty that happens behind the scenes, especially among bigger creators, was written down and posted publicly, we'd be typing them up all day." Which is a weird point, because if you know there's something going on behind the scenes, why aren't you talking about it? Right? If you know there's some abuse going on, why would you shield the people who are doing it? I don't know. Just a point. Now, in response to what she said, I made this reply that has like 6,000+ likes. So clearly it's not just people who support me, but a lot of people in her own fan base, because this post is almost ratioing her in her own home turf in her quote-unquote apology. And I basically said, "I'm not going to coddle you. I respect you too much to do that. And this is not British humor. What you said is very serious. And people have defended you against those sorts of accusations in the past, and you should know better at this point." That's it. But it did resonate with a lot of people. And what was her response to all this? Because I know she saw this. Let's be real. There's no way she didn't. She made a further reply saying, "If you're reading this, it's already too late. Run away. It's more fun. Kitten." With a hat that says the CEO of grooming. So this is her response. She's like, "Oh, yeah, I called someone a groomer, but I call myself one too." What? Again, I don't want to hammer this home, but I know there's a lot of people who are going to defend her no matter what, and they'll be mad at me for criticizing her. But if anyone else called Shondo a groomer or acted this way, you would be ripping their throats out. Do not lie. Do not lie to yourself. Do not try to lie to other people, because you know exactly how you would respond in a parallel situation. But this one, it's fine, I guess, because she's your Oshi. Yeah, I respect her too much to coddle her like that, and I think more people should feel that way. But anyways, that's going to do it for this wild, wacky situation. Please leave all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.